Hello Gemini, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Gemini for the next 3 months. So this will be for quarter 4 or Q4 if you're a business person between the months of October, November, and December. Do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Let's go and see what we have here for you, Gemini. Now I am using the Gilded Tarot, the Kipper Oracle deck, as well as the Prism Oracle deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. Please do hit that like button and subscribe. It really does help my channel grow in a big way. All right. Make sure we're all set up here and in view. All right, looking good enough to me for right now. We'll take a couple of these Prism Oracle cards. We'll take a couple of these cards and and I'll also take 1, 2, 3 tarot cards to clarify as we go along. Energy on the bottom, you have the Hermit. So the Hermit is all about introspection. This is somebody who's spending time alone, but they're purposefully spending time alone here, Gemini. And there's a reason for this. Thing is that here's the thing. The Hermit has learned everything that they need to learn through books, through learning, through education. You might be somebody who has an advanced degree, maybe your PhD, a master's degree, something, right? Like you are probably well studied in a field or in something. For the Hermit, it's beyond books, okay? The Hermit needs to find the answers from the universe now, as you see that they are communing here with the universe. Another way of saying this is they need to look within in order to find not the star that can be found in books, but the star that can be found within them. And this is the idea of the Hermit. Some of you are on the path of the Sage here, okay? You're taking a solo path. Now, will this mean that you're doomed to being single for the rest of your life if you're single? No, that's not what that is, right? I mean, this card can't, in a love reading, this can indicate that you're maybe in a period of being single, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be doing that forever. The point is, right now, you're figuring out what's next for you, and you're not finding it in a traditional way. You're finding it within you. So let's expand on this message some more here, and let's dive more into this idea of the Hermit. So in the overall situation here, you have, or the current situation rather, you have the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords says that there's a victory available to you here over the next 3 months. As we close out the year, right, we're winding down, year's coming in hot here. You know, soon enough, all of these planets that have been retrograde are going to start stationing direct. And, you know, things are really going to be pushing along here, Gemini. And what the Ace of Swords says is that there's a breakthrough. And this can lead to a new beginning in your life. This is a big victory when you get the Ace of Swords, or it can be a big victory. This is cutting out the noise. As you see the sword cuts. Okay, swords cut. This is cutting out anything that's not serving you in your purpose. And cutting out anything that's not helping this breakthrough happen. And so clearing the clouds here in the background, figuring out what it is that you want to be doing, where you want to be going, and getting a new start here in your life. So I really like that for you in the overall situation. In the problem position, you have the Queen of Cups. It's interesting that you find this in the problem position. The Queen of Cups is a card that says trust your gut, trust your intuition. This can also be a trusted friend or an ally. This can be a therapist, a traditional therapist. But in the problem position, this might be somebody who is a little bit manipulative, emotionally manipulative. This might be somebody who says that they can keep secrets, but they actually can't. I would be very careful of gossip over the next 3 months, like very, very careful. And I mean like you don't gossip, and also like be careful what you share with other people because they might be a gossiper, okay? Because if you gossip, the thing is that's like, you know, we're all human, right? This happens, but like there are consequences to that. And you know, that does, here's the thing about, I don't like gossip. Gossip is a lower vibrational energy. the thing about gossip is that it reduces your connection to the person that you're talking about. So if you have a connection with somebody and you gossip about them, that connection is being reduced, or that connection is becoming weaker, even though in your mind it's like, well, maybe they won't find out that I talked about them, or maybe they won't find out that I'm gossiping. It doesn't matter. Energetically, the connection between you, point A, you, and point B, the other person, energetically that connection is weakening. So just something to consider. I guess there's a message that somebody needs to hear that. In the past, you have the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands is conflict. And this is, to me, it's good that this is in the past, because there's some sort of situation that I think are ready to move beyond. Some of you may have been in a challenging situation with a friend here, as the Queen of Cups is in the problem position. It might be a water sign. Just remember that the natal chart is wide. They might not be a water sun sign, which is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. They could be a water moon. They could be, whatever, right? So just keep that in mind. Some of you may have had a conflict here recently with a person. I think whatever it is, whatever conflict that this is here, you are ready to move past this, because you have this Ace of Swords really helping you out here with that situation, because it's victory, it's breakthrough, it's new beginnings, it's moving ahead, it's pushing along. And so, yeah, while I do think that this has maybe been challenging for you, I also think that you're learning. Remember, the Hermit is a learner. Okay, this is indicating wisdom, ancient wisdom, knowledge, somebody who's a sage, somebody who's wise. And for you, yes, this is challenging, but you've learned something from this situation. In the future here, you do have this Five of Cups card. So this person's disappointed, and they really can't get this Three of Cups card here, which is represented on the grass, out of their mind. They can't. They're having a hard time getting past whatever went on here in the foreground. And if they would just somehow figure out, or somehow turn around, they would find that there are two cups behind them that are upright. In other words, this card says, Gemini, look on the bright side. Over the next 3 months, look on the bright side. Okay? Easier said than done when you're going through challenges, especially if it's with somebody that you trust, or somebody that you care a lot about, friend or otherwise. It is, those times are challenging, but remember to be grateful for what you have, okay? And remember to always look on the bright side, especially over the next 3 months here. Now, in your thoughts, so this is what you're aware of, what you're conscious of in your mind. You have the Two of Swords. This is like a blockage in thought patterns, communication. Somebody might have literally blocked you on social media, or you might literally be considering blocking somebody with the Two of Swords. I know it's a little extreme, but it is possible that this is showing up here. This is blindfold energy, okay? This person cannot see the road ahead. And this is kind of quite literally feeling like they're blocked. They're restricted in speech. They don't know what to say, or they don't know how to handle something verbally or in terms of their communication. This can really also come forward, if it's not about communication, this can come forward as like you being in a deadlocked situation. Like knowing that you need to come up with a solution to something, but like really being like in your head about it, like going back and forth on it. Being a little bit in a deadlocked sort of situation with a person here. I get the sense it's with a person because we start this Queen of Cups here in the problem position, and there's a conflict in the past, you're disappointed here in the future. Probably connected to communication. Two of Swords, I always like to say the two swords can represent a war of words between you and another person. Daggers emotional daggers being thrown between you and another person. I know it's a little dramatic, but you do have some drama here showing up with a person. In the subconscious, this is what you can't see or what is hidden. You have the King of Wands. So King of Wands is, I love the King of Wands. Okay, this is a person that you want to spend your time with. This is someone who's fun. This is someone who's just like energetic, lively. This person's a visionary, an entrepreneur, a business leader, This is a classic entrepreneur in the tarot. You can also see the star here on the chair. They're the star of the show. And this can indicate that you're maybe starting a business. This can indicate that you're meeting somebody that has those qualities here unexpectedly, because the lower row is the unexpected, what you can't see or what is hidden. This is also maybe you really, really developing a passion for what it is that you do in your career, okay? And so, for some of you here, what's going on is you may be like dealing with this Queen of Cups challenge, but on the other end of that, you're also like finding a passion, or you're finding somebody that reunites your passion, or you're becoming fired up about your business, or you're throwing yourself into your work, something like that going on. In the staff, in the direction that you are headed, in your current influence, the way that you are influencing the situation, you have this Knight of Swords. So this asks you to be very careful of impulsivity, okay? Impulsivity is not spontaneity. Spontaneity is the King of Wands. Okay, you want to be in the spontaneity energy, spontaneous energy. You do not want to be impulsive. Okay, because impulsivity leads you to act too quickly on something that you don't actually want. It leads you to an outcome that you don't actually want in your life. Spontaneity is working with the universe. You want to be spontaneous. Okay? The Knight of Swords on a different level, this says that you are springing to action, and that you are striking while the iron is hot. And so if you feel good about moving in a certain direction, the Knight of Swords says go for it. Don't be destructive, be careful of being destructive, be careful of being impulsive, but move in the direction that you feel guided to move towards. In the external influence here, you have the Judgment card. So the Judgment card is really an energy that can indicate a lot of things, okay? The Judgment card is like a spiritual awakening potentially, especially as you have the star with it. I would say that's a positive spiritual awakening, but they're almost always positive, but some can, anyway. The Judgment card says that this is the final boss, okay? You have one thing left before you complete a major cycle in your life. And what the Judgment card asks you to do is go into self-evaluation and see what it is that you need to do to improve yourself and your situation. It also says be open to higher guidance. There's an external situation happening here where you're like, all right, well, sometimes you just have to trust and believe, and sometimes there are things that are out of your control. That's the truth. In the hopes and fears, you have the Moon card. You're sketched out about a person, okay? You are like not quite sure of what to think about a person, maybe this Queen of Cups, or maybe even about a situation. The thing is, the Moon is temporary. The Moon comes and goes, okay? So I think for some of you here, there's something that's a little bit unclear, but you will get clarity, because in the outcome, the star represents clarity, it represents tranquility, hope, optimism for the future, and most importantly, the star is a wish come true in your life. And so you love the star card. It's one of my favorite cards, if not my favorite card, especially in the outcome position, because it's kind of like everything will work out for you. I know it's like it's hard to hear that when you're going through a challenge, but it does suggest that there are good things happening for you in your life. It's also a card of synchronicities and like spirituality. And so, some of you may be going through a deeply spiritual time here over the next 3 months. Let's go and take a look at these 3 clarifiers. Wow, okay, I like this. And not because you have the 5 Pentacles, the 5 Swords, and 5 Swords, but I like this because you have the World. So the 5 Pentacles, 5 Swords, obviously this is a challenge. This can be a loss, like a money loss or a financial loss. It can also just be about your mindset. It's typically more about your mindset, such as like you feeling like you're unworthy of something, or you just feeling like you can't get yourself out of something. But it's typically a feeling, you are strong. And if you look here, this person, they're waving their flag, okay, but the sun ray is coming out of them. They're down, but they're not out. And so when you get the 5 Swords, it's a chance for you to get stronger in life. What I love is you have the World, because the World completes the Judgment, or the Judgment completes the World. And so the Judgment's the final push to get to the World. The World says that you will complete something big in your life. You will complete a chapter. You will complete a cycle. It's success, and it's also certainty that whatever it is that you're doing will be closed out. Let's go and see what we have here in the oracles. Yeah, look, I mean, great fortune, pathway, courtship, and false person. There's this false person energy. There's somebody who's like, so courtship is somebody like courting you, obviously in romance, but it could also be like a headhunter indicating somebody wants to hire you. But I actually feel that there's somebody who's just like gossiping here, talking about you here with this courtship card. Something weird going on with this Queen of Cups energy. Great fortune and pathway is incredible. This is the best card to find in the Kipper deck. It says, you know, a positive change in luck, positive change in fortune, your situation turning around. This is definitely a card you want to see in any reading. And then the pathway card is like your true north. It's your destiny. It's what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. And when you get the pathway card, it can truly say that you are on the right path. There is something going on here with this false person, courtship, and Queen of Cups card. I don't know. Yeah, somebody's placing a high expectation on you here. Okay, somebody is placing a high expectation on you with that energy, and some of you may just need to set boundaries. There is certainly something closing out there with this person. Okay, you have anger, fear, and trust. All right, so there was this big message here of trust that I was bringing in for you when I think I was reading the Moon card, where it's like you're just unsure of something. There's just a little bit of a lack of clarity in your life. Cleanse, okay. And I think that this is more just like fear, like getting the best of you. Some of you may want to separate fear from fact, okay? Like what is fiction, what is nonfiction in your life? And fear is a challenging thing. It's easy for people to live their life in fear. I would also be very careful as we have a Mars in Gemini retrograde. Mars is going retrograde in Gemini. So if you're still here, bonus, you get this. But this could really affect your sign because it's the Gemini frequency. I'd be very careful about anger. Okay, Mars is associated with anger. I would be very careful about burning bridges and saying something that you later regret, specifically connected to a friend. If you are dealing with a friend situation or just another person here, like, is there a way for you to do this with love? That's what I'll leave you with. So thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. I really appreciate you. I'll see you in the next reading.